How's it going, everybody? Today, this is the second video on the G major scale low, and so we're just looking at the low portion of the scale right now. We're going to build on that in future videos, but right now, let's take some time and look at the chord tones. So, if you haven't watched the first video on the G major scale, go back and watch that. I'll link that below. We're going to now move to chord tones. So this is an important part of knowing how the chords fit into the scale. And so you're definitely going to use this in soloing. When you're playing over chords, you'll be able to just know where they are instinctively. We're going to start off with the root chord, which is G. And so we're going to look at the notes in the G major chord. So if we were to just play the top three strings like on our normal G major shape, like this, you have G, B, D. But we're going to find those in our scale. Okay, so of course our root note is G. Okay, and if we go to our pinky finger, so it's G, on the 3rd fret, low E string. Well, if we go over to where our pinky finger usually lies, on the 7th fret of the low E string, we get that B. And if we go down to the A string, 5th fret, we have the D. Okay? So those are our chord tones for our G major chord. G, B, D. G, B, D. G, B, D. Okay, so what we did, if you watched the last video, and again, this is building on that, so check that out. We did our note names, so I want you to do those and sing those if you can. And then set up the metronome and practice that shape. Okay, and so we're going to go through each of the chords in the G major scale. We're going to go over where those notes are. But I want you to go back, so in other words, you would pause this video on, and then practice that with a metronome, and then go to the next chord shape, go to the next chord and the next chord. As we go down, we're going through all 7 chords. So, just to recap, our G major chord, G, B, D, G, B, D, G, B, D. Okay. Next is A minor. Okay, we're going to go, that's the next chord in the progression. So that's going to be A, C, E, A, C, E. So we're going to have that A on the 5th fret of the low E string. And then on the A string, 3rd fret for C. And then on the same A string, we're going to go to the 7th fret to catch that E. A, C, E. Now, here's something to note. The reason that's a minor chord, because an A major chord would be A, C sharp, E. See how you can kind of hear that major tonality? C sharp is not in our G major scale. So it's not part of the G major key. Right? We have to go from C sharp to C. Right? Hear that minor? And then that's what makes it minor. The flat third is what makes it minor. So, A, C, E, A, C, E. That's your A minor chord. Now we're going to go to B minor. Okay? So, alright, so our first note is B. D, the second note, F sharp, B, D, F sharp, B, D, F sharp, and notice that D, see that B major is a D sharp, but when you go to regular D, you get the minor. Okay, so we're going to do that again. B, D, F sharp, B, D, F sharp. Okay, and next is our C major chord. Okay, so C major. It's going to go C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G. Okay. Now, on to our next one. It's going to be the D major chord. Okay, so we're going to go D, we're going to go D, F sharp, A. Now I'm keeping it in our scale degree. Obviously these notes occur on multiple areas of the fretboard, but I'm keeping it in our low area just so we can see what all the chord tones are with the part where we're at. So that's why we're going back to the low A. You could, of course, go to this A, but we're going to stay in our shape. So here we go. D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A, D, F sharp, A. Okay. Okay, and then next is E minor. Okay, we got another minor chord. Alright, so we're gonna go E, here we go, E, G, B, E, G, B, E, Alright, now what makes this minor is that G, B, we went to G sharp, right? Now that sounds major, but because we're on that G natural, we got the minor chord. And then the last one, of course, is F sharp, or our F sharp half diminished. Okay, which is a chord you're not going to use very much. But it's important actually to know where the notes are and what makes up this, what makes up the chord of this chord. So it's going to be F sharp, C, A. Right? That sounds weird. Doesn't that sound weird? That's the diminished, or the half diminished. F sharp, C, A, F sharp, C, A, F sharp, C, A, F sharp, C, A, F sharp, C, A. Make sure you practice all these notes while also practicing that first portion of the scale. But if you remember when we did our numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. You will see how those chords fit into the key. So, right? So G is your 1 chord, A is your 2, B is your 3 chord, C is your 4 chord, D is your 5 chord, E minor is your 6 chord, F sharp, diminished, half diminished, is your 7 chord. Back to the 1. So do you see how the numbering system not only identifies your notes in your scale, but it also identifies what chord to play. So, for instance, a 1-4-5 progression in the key of G, playing open chords, would be this. I added a little suspension on the D, but you get the idea. You can play C at 9. Alright, but you get the idea how those numbers correlate to chords when you're playing rhythm guitar in a progression. Alright, and that's how the Nashville numbering system works. That's how when we get a chord chart that's just got numbers on it and somebody calls out a key, I can look at it and know exactly what to play because I know the notes in the scale, but I know those notes have numbers, and then I correlate those numbers with chords. And you get the Nashville numbering system. That's our chord tones in the scale. That's a lot for you to practice for now. So work on that. And we'll come back next week with another video and go into the medium. So thanks for watching. So if you like this video, go ahead and click the like button, click subscribe and the notification bell, all that good stuff. And if you want to see more of my dumb face, check me out on Instagram and TikTok. I'm on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that good stuff. Also, linked below, check out my Spotify and Apple Music pages so you can see some of the music that I've put out. And I'd like to say again, thanks for watching and peace out, y'all.